The rains had not come for a long time. The land was dry and looked as if it was going to catch fire. People prayed for rain and asked the rainmaker to help, but no rains came. Foods from last year's harvest were getting low, and if the rains did not come, there would soon be hunger. The last rain came a year ago. Now it seems to only come to tell people that it's not coming again. It would not return. Sometimes, the neighbors would say they did not have enough for themselves and would not give any to B and Mwanam Gogo. They were too proud to go and ask others for help. They had to swallow their pride. At night, when they lay on their mats, they would not go to sleep. Each one of them would be thinking and praying. But now they were too old to have children. They did not stop thinking. It was very easy to keep thinking, and their minds were always filled with thoughts, and thoughts always came. Sometimes they didn't want the thoughts to come, but they did, especially the ones that made them sad. One night, Bimgogo had a dream. She dreamt of someone telling her to mold a little boy from the brown red earth near their house and keep the little boy in a big earthen pot for 9 months. After 9 months, she was told she would find a boy and she would call him Katope, which means made out of mud. But before the 9 months were over, no one should look in the pot. She was also told that after he was born, rain must never fall on him. If it did, he would turn into dust and disappear. There was still no food. People had to go long distances to find whatever they could find. Families with strong children were lucky. Their children could go very far and fetch water and not be so tired. It was times like this that Mr. and Mrs. Gogo felt sad and lost. They had no children and they were no longer strong to till the land or fetch water. They asked their neighbors to help them, and they often got help. But help is not like when you have your own. In the morning, she told her husband about the dream. Her husband asked her what she would like to do. I have told you my dream. Do you think we should do as I was told in the dream? She asked. No, I don't think we should, he replied. Why not? Maybe it will happen. We can have a child to help us, she said. No, my wife, we should not try. We have lived like this all the years, and we should not try to change it now. Were you not told in your dream that rain must never fall on the child? Does that not mean also that no water should fall on him, that he cannot be washed? Yes, but would it not be wonderful to have this child? And about rain falling on him, where is the rain? We can keep him from the rain and from the water. That would not be difficult to do. We can think of other ways to keep him clean. And dreams are dreams. We are not sure that this dream will come true, so why don't we try and see? If there is no child after 9 months, we shall go on living the way we have always lived. If there is a little boy, then oh, how wonderful it would be, she replied. Then he thought for a second. Well, if it's her dream, then maybe it is. So if the dream comes true, then I shall also be happy, he concluded. So what are you waiting for? Maybe we should start. She was overjoyed. She would have not gone ahead with her dream if he had not supported her. But it is better when a dream is shared, and so they started. They dug a wide hole in the ground in order to get good brown soil. They mixed it with a little water and kneaded it into a thick paste. They made sure the soil was all the same color and there was no dirt or unwanted particles in it. They had never before created anything by molding brown earth. But they had so much love already for the little boy that they would make him the most handsome. They started with the head because they wanted the little boy to think. They also hoped to get ideas from the head about how to create the rest of the boy's body. They put eyes so he could see and ears so he could hear. Let us give him good eyes and good ears so he can listen. Listen very well, and also see the clouds that are forming so he could run before the rain falls on him. Oh, yes, and a mouth so he can laugh and sing, said the husband. I think you forgot another job of the mouth, she said. What? He said with surprise. Well, so he can eat. In my dream, I was not told he cannot eat. Of course, who lived without eating? Said the father. And so they started. They first molded a round ball like a head. Before they could start putting eyes, ears, as well as the nose, they had an argument. One said, "It's too big." Another said, "It's not big enough." One said, "The head is not as round as a ball." Another said, "But this one could have a round head if we want it." So, and on and on. The eyes must be dark and deep. No, they should be luminous and light. But this is not going to be a girl. He cannot be as beautiful as girls' eyes. Why? Why not? They argued. Because it is this difference that attracts boys to girls and girls to boys. I hope you are not saying that beauty attracts ugliness and ugliness attracts beauty. No, I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. You are beautiful. I am not ugly, but I'm different from you, and that is why I love you. Well, now I think I understand. Maybe the boy should look like you. Then he will not be beautiful, but he will be attractive. See, I knew you would understand. But let us go on. We have finished the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Now we must put on the hands, long and strong. And then we'll put the hands, the stomach, the hips, and the legs. So strong, he should be able to run fast and keep away from the rain. And the fingers and toes were long and strong. The nails were not too long because they would be full of dirt from playing in the dust. They added some mud here and there, built the ears and nose, and then placed the little boy in the sun to dry. They were very happy with their work, and now they had to do as she was told. When he was dry, they had to put him inside a big earthen pot. They had to cover it and wait 9 months before looking inside. Waiting that long was not easy. They were tempted to look inside the big pot, but they resisted. They counted each day. The closer the end of the 9 months, the harder it became, but they still resisted. Finally, the day came, and together they approached the big pot and opened it. Not sure whether they would find their little boy, but there he was, the little boy smiling at them, and much bigger than the one they had put in the pot 9 months ago. They took him outside and they were overjoyed. He was not like those babies who didn't laugh or even smile, or who cried all the time and didn't say why they were crying or whatever they wanted. They think their parents would understand them, but they don't. All they do is cry, cry, cry. And their mothers, they don't understand them. Some mothers also cry because the babies are crying, and all they do is try everything to stop them from crying. Sometimes it would probably be better to leave the babies to cry until they got tired. But mothers do not understand that babies have a right to cry, and they have a right to cry. But their little boy did not want to cry. He wanted to play, and that was good for the parents too, who wanted to play with their little boy. They played all the time. The old people found themselves getting younger too. They were not as tired as they used to be. The boy would do many things and wanted his parents to join him. Sometimes he would run around and he would hide himself, and the parents would do the same until it became difficult to tell the child apart from the parents. The boy grew big and strong and did not want to play with his parents anymore. He wanted to play with other children his age, size, and strength. He asked them to take him to where he could find other children to play with. For a long time, they resisted, but he kept being adamant and kept asking until they finally did. They finally remembered and decided to take him where the other kids were. Before they did that, they remembered about the rain, and they told Katope to always watch out for the rain and must run home fast as he could. He asked why, but the parents thought it was better not to tell him the reason, because then he would not want to play freely and he would think he was different from the other boys, and that would make him unhappy. But his mother sang a song to him every day so that he may remember it all the time. Katope, Katope, Katope. child of earth and water. Katope, 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 child of hope and dream. Katope, Katope, when you see clouds form. Katope, Katope, and they are dark and heavy. Katope, return home. Run, run before the rain falls. And they sent him to where the other boys played the games, where they ran, wrestled, fed each other, and played all kinds of games. They would also sing songs and imitate their parents telling stories to their children. So when it was hot in the afternoon and they lay in the shade of the baobab tree, they told each other stories and sang their parents' favorite songs. One day, as the children were playing, clouds started forming. The children continued to play, and Katope did not realize that the clouds would soon rain. He was enjoying playing so much he had forgot. But his friends did not forget, and so they reminded him of his mother's song. And Katobe began to run home. He ran and ran and ran, increasing his speed as he did so. And just as soon as he entered the house, it began to rain. His mother scolded him and reminded him about the song she always sang for him. She told him he had just arrived in time before the rain fell. If he had been late to start or slower, the rain would have fallen on him. But mother, why? The children I play with do not have to run home when clouds gather. Why are their mothers not afraid of rain? Katope asked. She could not tell him. She was afraid that if he knew, he would be so afraid that he would not leave the house. And what would he do if he did not go and play with his friends? He would not be happy, and the children have the rights to be happy, and happiness comes through play. That night, his mother sang the song for Katope many times. The raining season had come, and he must be very careful. He must always watch the sky. He must not go to play far away from their house, and he must leave as soon as the clouds started gathering. But children are children. They listen, but they forget quickly when it comes to play. Katope listened, but he forgot quickly. So the next day, he went to play again, and it was farther from where they played before. And they played and laughed, and happiness was all around them. And it made Katope forget to look at the sky. And it made his friends forget to remind him about his mother's song. And the clouds formed quickly and became dark and threatening. When he looked up, because it was getting cold, Katope remembers his mother's song, and the children told him to run quickly. Katope ran. Katope tried to beat the rain. The rain was falling behind him, and he must run to beat it to their house. Was the rain also trying to catch him? Maybe it was. Maybe it was not. The rain also had to fall. It cannot stop itself, and it cannot stop because of Katope. But Katope was lucky again. But just, the rain caught one of his heels. For a few days, he could not go to play. But after a week, he had forgotten. He was ready to go play again. His mother could not stop him. She said to herself, "One day he will go. The rain will take him. But it is better he plays and is happy. And if he's unhappy, then we're also unhappy. What comes goes, and what goes comes." That is how he came. She went on speaking to herself. He went to play many times after that. Every time he arrived at home, it was just in time before the rain fell over him. But one day, Katope forgot, and his friends forgot too. And by the time they saw the rain had begun, it was very near. He could see their house in the distance and thought he would get there before he got soaked. His mother was standing close by the doorway, looking in that direction that Katope was coming from. Katope could see his mother, and his mother could see him. His mother ran towards him, and he also ran even faster after seeing her. But the rain was faster and heavier, and by the time they were about to meet, Katope had turned to mud. She did not cry. She knew that another mother, far, far away, must have prayed to get little Katope. And so, her Katope was now with another mother, who was as happy as she had been. And there ends the story of Katope. The children who played with Katope now listen to their mother's warnings because they have heard the story of Katope who forgot his mother's warning around the rain.